Welcome. Thanks everyone for joining me today. I think we will go ahead and get started with our webinar today. My name is Misty Hobroch and I am a marketing manager here at ReachForce. ReachForce is a SaaS company located in Austin, Texas, focused on delivering growth through our data quality solutions. I'm excited about today's webinar to be talking about one of the hottest topics in marketing right now, ABM, and then how data quality plays such an important role within ABM success. So again, I would want to thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy schedules to jump on the webinar today, data quality and ABM success. So with that, I will move on over to our agenda. Give me just a second. All right, there it is. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to cover account-based marketing and the critical piece that data plays within those ABM initiatives. So we will discuss, how to get accurate data without losing prospects on the form, the importance of data quality for ABM success, the benefits of capturing high-value lead data at the point of entry in real time and how that will affect your ABM initiatives and success, and how our SmartForms product will help keep your ABM initiatives on target. At the end, we will have time for a brief Q&A. And I encourage everyone to please type in your questions as they come up throughout the webinar and submit them in the chat box. And then at the end, as I mentioned, we'll have a brief Q&A, and if your question is not answered, we will definitely follow up with you after the webcast and address that. All right, so on over to our next slide. So what is ABM? It's definitely the buzzword right now. So account-based marketing, it's a B2B strategic approach to reaching a smaller subset of prospects that meet your ideal profile. So as opposed to more traditional marketing techniques that cast that wide net in terms of targeting and messaging, it's a narrowly focused lead generation strategy in which your leads are going to be highly qualified. So ABM programs really operate on that philosophy of delivering personalized messaging to that smaller set of targeted accounts. So even though you're marketing to a much smaller number of targeted accounts, they're going to be highly qualified and they have been identified within your organization as a good fit for you to go after. So then these highly qualified leads are then going to be nurtured along the buyer's journey with the ultimate goal of converting them right into either sales leads, pipeline growth, or possibly even strategic partners. So within ABM, it's going to be critical for sales and marketing to align within your organization in order for ABM to be successful. There really has to be a clear understanding of the accounts the targeting the company is prospecting and going after. And this is just some interesting tactics and statistics here on the screen that marketers that actually use account-based marketing are seeing. So 92% of them have regularly planned meetings with sales, 66% sales enablement, 64% event planning, 63% funnel and regular pipeline review, and then 62% of list building. All right, going over to the next slide. Give me just a second. My screen share is a little bit slow. So there we go. So why is ABM all the buzz right now? So it's almost impossible to look on your Twitter feed or your LinkedIn feed and not see something about ABM. So account-based marketing, it's definitely getting a lot of buzz, and for definitely good reason too. Companies that are using account-based marketing are really seeing positive and measurable results. So although account-based marketing, it's not a new technique, right? It's been around for quite some time. It's just the new buzzword. It's just, it's currently at the top of everyone's mind. So an ABM program that is really well planned and thoughtfully executed, can really help to create an influx of marketing qualified leads as well as sales pipeline. Um, this is a really interesting statistic. So companies companies that are practicing ABM have reported better alignment with sales. They often close bigger deals with target accounts, and also have an increased pipeline velocity as well. And in fact, according to a survey by Serious Decisions, 92% of companies recognize the value in ABM, calling it a B2B marketing must-have. So all these numbers really speak to the value of ABM and why so many companies are really seeing how significant it can really bring value to the company. So within this, where does ReachForce come into play, right, with ABM? So in order to successfully reach your target accounts, your data must be accurate and complete, right? So without accurate and complete data, there's no way to successfully reach your target accounts. Data is really the foundation to a successful account-based marketing and sales strategy. But getting that good data is really a challenge, right, for the majority of organizations. And in fact, according to a Serious Decisions study, it showed that 60% of marketers confessed that their data was unreliable. That's a huge number, right? And what our SmartForms product does is it allows you to import that clean, reliable data at the point of entry in real time on all of your form submits. That way you can really successfully reach those target accounts. All right, there we are. So is ABM, is it here to stay? Is it sticking around? Here I put together a list of the top 5 ABM stats to really help you convince any skeptic within your organization that ABM is really proving to be extremely helpful, generate more revenue, and closing more deals. So as you can see here on the screen, companies are 67% better at closing deals when marketing and sales teams are aligned. They also generate 208% more revenue for their marketing efforts. 80% say that ABM outperforms any of their other marketing initiatives. And 92% of B2B marketers would consider ABM either extremely or very important to their overall marketing efforts. And then the last one here is 84% believe that ABM provides significant benefits for retaining and also expanding client relationships. So again, as I've said, these are some really great ABM statistics to take to anyone within your organization to really help sell the value of ABM and how it can really help your organization. So I have mentioned data quality and the importance of data quality for ABM. And how they go hand in hand, right? And poor database quality is often one of the biggest obstacles that we marketers face in order to effectively reach target accounts. And when I say poor database quality, I am referring to either having old or bad email addresses, incomplete, often sometimes missing data, right? And then duplicate records, among other factors that really make it nearly impossible to reach your target accounts successfully. And in fact, according to Marketing Sherpa, 50%, that's the statistic there under the envelope, of all email addresses go bad every 12 months. And only 21% of prospects actually provide their accurate number through the form fills. And I have to admit, I've been guilty of that sometimes myself. So as you can see, these are all just great statistics and numbers around why it's so important to continually update your data and then to import clean and validated data from that point of entry in real time to successfully reach those target accounts. So here, this is on this slide, you can see on one side you have, where your forms are too long, losing prospects on the form because they don't want to take the time to fill out all of that information. And then on the other side, you have forms are too short, right? So then you're not getting all of that valuable data that you need for nurturing, lead scoring, etc. And then in the middle, you have smart forms, which is helping bridge that gap. So as you can see, and as I've talked about, that importance of capturing that high value lead data at the point of entry is going to be critical for accurate account linkage. And having that painful gap between having to keep registration forms short so conversion rates stay high while still capturing all that rich data that's needed for successful ABM. The need to append and enrich data in real time is crucial for account targeting, and making sure that account data is accurate and organized is going to be a must, like I mentioned, for lead scoring, for routing, and all your nurture programs as well. So now what I'm going to do is walk through just a quick visualization of how smart forms can help to combat that incomplete data from leads by importing that clean, validated and standardized data at the point of entry in real time. So how does it work? So how does smart forms work? So smart forms sits on top of any existing form in a marketing automation platform or other lead form software. So here you can see I'm showing an example of an existing customer of ours, Marketo, using smart forms on their contact us page. You can see here where I've entered my information on the form. And then what SmartForms is going to do, it's going to work in real time behind the scenes to gather all of that rich firmographic and demographic information for our company. So then once I click submit, this is what you see. A little pop-up. So SmartForms is now requesting that I verify which company I'm referring to. And the reason for this feature is that it improves the accuracy of the match between the company and then the information it provides. So even if I chose none of the above, SmartForms is going to choose one for me based on the information that I have provided. So then once a prospect submits their information, SmartForms then appends all of that company lead data in real time and sends it to either your marketing automation platform or CRM. Depending on how you have that set up within your organization. Also want to point out that this little pop-up window that you see is fully customizable. Including the number of companies that are suggested, as well as the algorithm of how SmartForms determines which company selections, to suggest or choose. So again, completely customizable. All right, so here we go on this slide. It's a little delayed. Again, I apologize for the delay there. So here is an illustration of the type of information that you will receive. So on the left, you can see is the user-friendly form with just a handful of fields. So this is the form they would see, either on a Contact Us page or, a landing page, anything like that. This is what they would see. This is what the number of fields they would have to fill out. And so then on the right is all of that information that SmartForms is appending alongside that manually entered information from the prospect. And I'll also point out that this is only a sampling of the data that's actually available. There are actually over 120 data points that are available for appending, also including installed technology or all of the corporate hierarchy information as well. So again, as I mentioned, SmartForms, it's completely configurable, so you can consume as much of this information or as little of this information that's going to be required for your specific business needs. One of the cool features of SmartForms structured data is that it provides company information for the domestic office and also global parent company. So this can be really extremely helpful, right, when it comes to segmentation and trying to identify the possibility of a much larger opportunity that might be available. All right, so here is this is another visualization of how SmartForms captures that necessary and accurate data on the first form fill. So then, therefore, on subsequent forms, marketers can really focus on using progressive profiling fields to capture more important BANT information. Since on that first form fill, SmartForms have already appended all of that firmographic and demographic data around the company. So again, SmartForms, it really allows for an effective personalization for known leads. Therefore, it's going to help shorten the length of the buyer's journey through the funnel, and then also close any loop on lead to opportunity conversion. Therefore, directly improving, right, the ROI for all of your marketing programs, which is great. All right, so on this is a slide of the many benefits for having enriched marketing data. And this chart just represents the reasons why our customers are adopting SmartForms. So as you can see, most of them they're not just adopting for one reason, but for multiple reasons. And as you can see, the top reasons include simplification of lead handoffs. So that ability to route leads to your sales team efficiently is huge and has proven to be extremely successful with multiple of our customers. Power lead scoring and marketing automation, as well as enhanced targeting and segmentation as well. All right, here are some metrics that our customer Marketo had provided us, and it kind of shows you how they originally had 9 fields down to 7 and then to 5, right, on the end. So when they had originally had 9 fields, you can see their conversion rate was lower, but their cost per lead was even higher. And then when they went down to 7 fields, their conversion rate was 12% and the cost per lead was 34.94. And then when they shortened it to their smallest number of fields, they received their highest conversion and also their lowest cost per lead. So conversion 13.4% and cost per lead 31.24. And so even though they shortened it down to 5 fields, they were still receiving way more information than when they had the 9 fields by implementing SmartForms and being able to have all of those 120 data points to pick and pull from. So let me go on over to our next slide here. All right, so here you see some success metrics that our customer Hortonworks has experienced after implementing SmartForms that they shared with us. So the conversion rate for their top targeted campaign was 47%, which that's incredible, right? And then they increased their lead routing accuracy by 43%. Those numbers just, they speak for themselves of how beneficial it was for them to implement SmartForms and the increase that they saw. So, in summary, the importance of having, complete, accurate, and timely data it's a must, right, for account-based marketing. And SmartForms is really going to allow you to capture all this data at the first step of the buyer's journey. So with that, I will open it up to Q&A. And I want to thank everyone for joining me today. And again, if we don't get to your question, we will follow up with you after the webcast. So it looks like we had a few questions submitted, so give me just a second to pull those up. All right, so here is our first question. And this is a good question that we often get. It's, will SmartForms interfere with my existing landing page forms? So no, that's a really good question. SmartForms will not interfere. It can be, it can actually be configured to work on any online lead form, including any of the major marketing automation platforms as well. Thank you for submitting that. That was a great question. All right, let's go on to our next question here. So what systems will SmartForms work with? So another great question. So SmartForms will work with any platform. It is platform agnostic. So thank you for submitting that. Give me just a second to pull up our next question here. So, would we get the data in real time? So, great question. Yes, the data is going to be appended to the inbound lead at the point of lead conception in your marketing automation platform. So, great question. All right, looks like we have a couple more questions. Give me just a second. So do you provide global information? So that's a great question. Yes, we have around 225 million records in our database and a very strong global data set, excuse me, within those. All right, here's another one. So how does the float work? And I think the question is how would you implement smart forms? And if I'm not answering this correctly, please follow up with me after the webcast. But so how it works, it's just a piece of JavaScript that's going to sit on the page form, and then what you would do is create hidden fields for all the data points that you desire, and that's completely up to you how many of those that you want to consume. And then what happens is smart forms will populate that data and would just be along for the ride with the form as it normally would. So thank you for submitting that. That's a really great question. All right, so I think we have one more question, and this is a really good question. So this is, how can I obtain the same information to clean up my existing database that I would receive for new leads? So we hear this a lot, right? So smart forms is just going to be for new leads, right? It's not going to be existing leads that are in your database. So, I mean, really the great thing about implementing a data strategy is that it can happen, right, at various points. So you can actually apply the same parameters to your existing database, and we can update that data on an automated basis with our continuous data manager solution, which is referred to as CDM. And so when you implement both a front-end solution like SmartForms and then a back-end data management strategy, it really provides more of a holistic view, right, of your data from all sources. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more about this, please feel free to reach out to me directly or visit our website, and we'd be happy to help to see what best suits your needs. So I think that's all that I have for today. I would like to thank everyone for joining me on these bi-monthly Smart Forms webinars. After the webinar concludes, you'll receive a survey. If you have a minute or so, if you could complete that, I would appreciate that. If anyone would like to join and share their knowledge on one of these marketing techniques, I would love that. Please feel free to reach out to me as well. And I hope everyone learned a little bit. And here's to ABM initiatives and good data quality. And everyone have a good rest of the day. Thanks so much for joining. Bye-bye.